guys, in today's video you are going to be learning another opening for white that is very special and very unique, and most black opponents don't know how to respond to this opening because it does not concentrate on attacking your opponent's center. It concentrates on defending your own center. But really, that's what most people think. That's just the first two moves. You do e4, then knight c3, and you play the Vienna. So, without further ado, let's get started into the Vienna game. They're a very popular opening these days because black people don't know how to respond to it. Black players, the black opponents, I should say. The people who are playing black, that's what I mean. So, let's dive into it. But first, subscribe. Make sure you click the notification so you don't miss any of my videos, and share to your friends. And please leave a like if you enjoyed the video. So, black plays standard, best by test, e4, e5, as Bobby Fischer says. Now you do the weird knight c3. Knight c3. Okay, now what is this move? Remember how I told you white concentrates on the defense of his own center. See, it's defending the white pawn. It's defending the white pawn even though it's not being attacked. That's why I said it's a very weird opening and most of the black people don't know how to respond to it. So, knight f6 is the most common move because they probably think you'll transpose. Well, what does transpose mean, you ask? Transpose means, say I start in the Caro-Kann but end in the French defense. Yeah, there's no possible way you can do that unless your opponent, like the white team, let you have a bunch of moves for free. But transposition is like we can just do this, okay? And then that opening is now called the 3 knights opening. It's not the Vienna game anymore. So transposition means from one opening you transition to another opening. So that's why it's called transposition. But we don't do the standard knight f3. I mean, it is a choice for less aggressive people. You can actually transpose, and it is one of my examples in this video. But you always often do f4. And this is the reason why we defended our pawn. It's because if there was no knight here, okay, if there was no knight here, it was still back here, then we played this, then this pawn is hanging. Once we take back, that's pretty easy to regain. That's pretty easy to regain. So that's why we don't do that. And the Vienna. Now, I call this the King's Gambit improved variation. Why? Because it's like the King's Gambit but improved. And this is way better, actually, than the King's Gambit. At the King's Gambit, you just go barbaric at the second move. You just do this with no safety. But we have safety because there is no queen to h4 check. Once takes, we can do d4, controlling more center. Then we do knight to g3, and we regain the pawn. So pretty complex stuff there, but d5, okay, d5. Now black can answer with this, and that's what I recommend you to answer with. And later in this video, I'm going to show you how I defeated a Vienna player. Not with this, with something different. my technique was basically do it before white does it. So you'll see what I'm talking about. So f takes e5. Okay, f takes e5, knight takes e5, and then queen to f3. Now, this is not a line that I really want you to play. I don't really want you to play this, but this is a line. It's an okay line. Most people won't trade off knights. If they do, then it's not that bad. But if you take with the knight, you know how this is there, and if takes, then this will be here? Well, that's kind of weird because there's a white pawn here, but a black pawn here. It's like they reversed sides. It's like they turned on each other, but they haven't. So, anyways, knight to c6, knight takes e4, d takes e4, queen takes c4, and you may say that, well, we regained our pawn from the gambit, and we have two center pawns. It just seems as black didn't even do a pawn move. But anyways, back in this position, d5, instead what white can do is e takes f4. E takes f4. Okay, so if black does e takes f4 right away, which is what most people do, then what will happen is e5, e5, queen to e7, okay? And look how the knight, if it has to move, it can only go to one safe square. That's back to home. That's kind of bad. And if the queen tries to do this, pinning my pawn, then I can unpin it with a simple queen to e2, and white is much better here. Knight g8, knight f3, f6, d4. This is the final position we're going to look at now. This is what happens after d4, and look at this. Look at white's beautiful center. We're gonna regain this pawn. Yeah, if he does something like this, then that's completely weird, because we're just gonna counter with this. Okay, pressuring this and the queen. And don't forget Mr. Fork. We're gonna get the rook if he doesn't do this. So it's pretty good game for white. And back in this position, f4. Instead, for non-aggressive players, you can just do bishop c4 with regular developing ideas, or knight to f3, transposing into 3 knights defense, or 4 knights a game can happen. But yeah, that's that. Okay, now let's look at another variation, not the Vienna Gambit now. So let's say black does something different. He does knight to c6. Well, you may think he's copying you, and most people do, and I'm going to tell you how to take advantage of that. But sometimes they have they know the Vienna, they have a solid repertoire on this. Sometimes they do this. So what you should do is f4. Yeah, still, you do this. Okay, but now a weird gambit line comes. Okay, e takes f4, knight f3, g5. Fellow King's Gambit players, this may sound familiar, but we don't do this. We just don't do that. In the Vienna, we do bishop c4. Once g4 happens, we don't even care about our knight. We castle, and this is another common idea in the King's Gambit. After g takes f3, queen takes f3. This is a very weird gambit line. But trust me, this almost always pays off. The battery, all the activity is coming through. And there's some ideas, and the bishop is also pressuring. So black is kind of unsafe, but if this gambit does not work out, then you're kind of completely lost. What you want to do in this position is try to just break open. If he does this, well, you just take. You just take. If he tries to gain the rook, you just take and checkmate. Okay? Anyways, you can also do bishop c4. You can also do bishop c4 instead of f4. Now, if black copies you, bishop to c5, then we can do the stunning move, queen to g4, and black is like really bad in this position. Pressuring down on this. His only good try is this. I mean, the best move, the best move, surprisingly, is king to f8. That's pretty sad of a move, right? Well, yes, indeed. And the computer just says, well, I don't care. just lose it. The computer is saying knight to d4, okay? That prepares to 4. So it will be equal trade, but the problem with knight d4 is this is a hanging piece. So let me show you, okay? So if black plays knight to d4, which he shouldn't, this, check. We have to move it, to move our king somewhere. This, yeah, after that we can just take. We can take the rook, but if you notice something better, then that's to actually just do that and checkmate him. That's what you should do. That you should just checkmate him. Wait, or am I wrong? Yeah, he can't even take this. He can't even take this, because if he does, well, then this is checkmate. This is checkmate, and yeah, that's game over. That's a surprising game over. So that's one way you can win very quickly and punish your opponent's copiness on move 7. So there you have it. Yeah. So moving on to the 7th variation of the Vienna game. Bishop c5. Okay, this is a pretty solid move. Now, I don't want you to go playing f4. I don't want you to go playing f4 to all my aggressive friends. Why? Because black can just do d6 and do the Vienna decline variation. That's really never a good thing. Well, you're saying to me now that why can't black just do the bishop on f8 and just do the decline variation right away with the knight here somewhere? Well, that's because black blocks his bishop in, and turns out this bishop is pretty crucial in the game. This dark squared bishop is pretty crucial, but yeah, I don't want you to go playing this. This is kind of actually bad. So, instead what you should do is knight f3, knight f3. And this is also a good move. Now, knight c6 can happen. Knight c6, he can do this. He can do this. And it's like an Italian game, but on you, but you have the extra turn. You know, you can just develop first and then castle. But anyways, Anyways, knight takes e7. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, knight takes e7. Knight takes e5. Knight takes e5. No. And Mr. Fork Trick comes. d4. d4. The bishop can sacrifice itself. Queen takes d4. And this knight is in a very ugly pin. We're threatening f5. And how is it in a pin? Well, I spy a pawn and a rook without no defender. So, black is in a nasty pin. And the only good move is the sad f6. And you can see that white is way better and black is so much worse. So that's why the Vienna is a pretty good choice. But now, you're telling me, well, I should just resign if I go against a person that knows how to play the Vienna game. But fear not, there are some good defenses for black as well. We're going to see that in the game that I just played today on the ICC chess server, the Internet Chess Club's chess server. And I beat a Vienna player. So let's see how to beat someone that's playing the Vienna. So you know that white knows how to be careful about it, and black can at least do a good fight against the Vienna player. So let's take a look at it. So I am black, and he plays the Vienna on me. Now I'm kind of mad that he played the Vienna on me, but nevertheless I counterattack. So in the Vienna, what I recommend to you guys, it's just totally my opinion, do what white does first before white does it. What does that mean? Well, what's the main pawn push in the Vienna game? f4, right? Well, we'll do it before white has a chance to. We do f5 straight away. We don't care about the knight moves. We go into it straight away. And we play the Vienna game, not white. And white has a tough decision to make here. In the game, he took. And knight f6 was played because of this. Now, if he does this, I don't really have to accept. And if he does this, let me show you. If he does this, then I can just do this. And white got the worst double pawns on the fourth move of the game. And that's pretty bad. So, bishop b4 was played in the game by me. Knight to e2. Now, I'm just going to threaten it. d5, yes. I know I could have done this, but then he could have done this. So, I'm threatening with the pawn push, so then I'll have more space, and my pawn won't be blocked by the knight that's on this square from getting ever to here. Okay, so anyways, bishop to d2 was played, and then I played d4 anyways. Knight to e4, a strange move. In the game, I think, well, I mean, he has, once I take this, once I do that, he can't really actually take and just weaken my king side because he's in check. He's in check. So, he's forced to take. Queen takes. Okay, now that's kind of bad. Now, bishop takes f5. I regain my pawn. He still doesn't go after it. He does knight. Knight e4 to g3. So, black is totally winning, and we've crushed this Vienna player by now. So the opening was not successful for white, and this is how you can counterattack the Vienna game. And the game only ended in 5 more moves. Watch how I beat him. So after bishop e6, I save my bishop. f4, okay, he goes for the pawn break, it's too late. Knight c6. F takes e5, thank you for the centralized knight. Queen to g5, not actually scary. We can just do knight to g6. Castle. Now, can you spot a weakness? Well, this knight really wants to go here. How does it get there? Well, that's one route. And notice that this knight and this queen, well, this queen is loose. That has no defenders. This knight can move. This knight can move. What's the winning tactic here that actually won me the game? I played knight to g4. Anyways, you cannot say because my bishop, Mr. Bishop, is eyeing and protecting the lone knight. And sadly, my opponent did not notice. He did rook e1. No, he did rook e1. And if he guarded this somehow, then I would have gone to the sweet outpost of this and really annoy his forces. But sadly, he didn't notice this. He didn't notice that my queen was eyeing his queen, and I took his queen. My queen is still here. My queen is still here. And I took with check. I'm gonna go back to defend my pawn from the wrath of the knight. And really, this is actually just a one game. My opponent resigned here. Because his queen was lost. But anyways, that's how you can crush the Vienna. And I can actually do this too. You know, pressuring once he comes here. Not here. If he comes here, then I'm just gonna come here and fork. Okay, Mr. Fork is still not done. So, anyways, oh, wait. And also, that's actually a beautiful knight checkmate. That's a knight checkmate. At first I didn't realize, I thought it was a fork. So, Mr. Fork and checkmate is not done yet. But anyways, I hope you like this video. Once again, please like and share and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the notification bell. I'll see you in another opening video, or I'll see you in another chess video. Bye-bye, and I'll see you next time again soon.